Spotify, the music streaming service, is facing a $150 million class action lawsuit against them, brought forward by David Lowery, the frontman for the band Cracker. And he argues that Spotify has not been able to rightfully secure the licensing and pay out the royalties to the artist. And they are calling for payouts in between $750 and up to $30,000 for these artists that haven't been able to collect what is rightfully theirs.
Wow, that's a lot of money that they're skimping out on. You know, we've seen a lot of artists, whether it's Taylor Swift, Radiohead even, the Beatles, who actually just finally gave out and they actually ended up putting their stuff on Spotify. A lot of artists are holding on. They don't want to put their stuff up because they figure, hey, if I'm not making, the money I should be making on Spotify and my music's up there, well, I'm not making money from Spotify and people won't be buying my albums, my merchandise and other things. So it's really not profitable. So why should they do it?
Exactly, and even when they are forced to do it, because like you mentioned, these big name acts, they can afford not to be in Spotify. They have so much high volume of sales in iTunes, in these other digital download services that actually pay a higher part of the $1 that they sell the song for. They don't need to go to Spotify, but the starting artists, of those who are not as popular as they once used to be, they rely on Spotify to be relevant. And that's why even Spotify themselves have accepted that the process of acquiring the right licensing rights and paying this out has been very complex for them because they don't necessarily know exactly who this copyright belongs for. Also, they've been criticized for not only paying a lot more to the record labels than they do to the independent artist, but also, like you mentioned, to bring down the value of the whole business, of the music business altogether.
And, I think it's something that people need to, stand up to and really voice up because, Spotify, music streaming in general is becoming, the standard. I mean, more and more people are signing up for Spotify. Almost all of my friends, listen to their music from Spotify exclusively. So it's like, this is, I think, where we're moving in that direction as a society. I think this is the future of music. I don't think people, well, we've already seen that people aren't really buying CDs anymore. Yeah. But I mean, even other places like iTunes, for example, people aren't buying individual songs or albums on iTunes as much even anymore because why would you? You pay a few bucks a month and you can basically listen to whatever you want on Spotify.
It definitely changed the way we consume music in this age. Now, what is really important is that the Spotify is saying we have set aside royalties for all of these songs that we don't really know who they belong to. They also, back in 2014, they sent a memo to the U.S. Copyright Office asking for the speed up of the licensing process. They say that the process is so long that the speed where they are able to distribute this music is way faster than the Copyright Office can actually deliver the licensing. So they want change in that. They know that they need to set aside these royalties for those who are not claiming the royalties so far. But right now they are facing $150 million class action lawsuit because some of the artists believe that Spotify is not doing the right work, acquiring the licensing rights for the songs, and then not paying the right royalty to the artists.